How do they look? Are they already, so, okay, but they're already ready to go. So that's actually good, maybe. No, that's good. You want to know, that's what you just ready to go. I think it's better. So where are they? Like, oh, yeah, if you can do this at the same, take out the photo, and just have them like that on. And, right, come on.
Max. I just got an email from Emma saying she can't get through on the WebEx.
Okay. Let me see. I was just checking that email. I'm going to send her the link again. Let's see. Oh, let's see.
Right, this time we're going to share. All right, our Jackie. And then we have our yeah, that was, and so the down to actually see these, stop sharing. Don't want to share it anymore. Stop sharing. Sharing applications on the this is on virtual. A lot of when you bring up information. And you do that, we're sharing. That's, come on right now we're sharing. You do that right there. That's what we're sharing. That's showing you, people are viewing that right there. You can have your what? What are y'all saying? That's what people are listening. And once again, that's our work. And then you can go across your tabs. And then you can scroll, and you can stop sharing. You immediately go back to it. And then for the PowerPoint, you can. It's going to share file.
There's a couple call-in users. Could you tell me who you are?
This is Ben Hallfield.
Okay, great. Thank you. And there's
Pamela May, Portland Avenue.
okay, great. Thank you. And do either of y'all plan on speaking?
Yes, I'm
this
a
is
speaker
Ben.
for just a couple minutes.
Yeah, and,
Okay.
and likewise, this is Ben. I'll be a very short speaker, but I'll speak.
Okay, great. Yep. So y'all are the first one up on the regular agenda. There's two recommendation items before that, but the chairman will call on people to speak in that case.
Thank you.
Thanks. Just got another call-in user. Tell me who you are.
Hi, this is Emma.
Oh, hey, Emma. I'll move you to panelist, or hold on.
Max, is Shad there?
Yep, Shad's here. Rick.
Okay. Do we have everybody from the city?
Lisa just stepped out. Emma has called in, so can't make her a panelist, but she should be able to hear me.
Okay.
Um,
And then we have the other members, so looks like we're ready to go if you've got everybody there at the city.
yep, Lisa will be back in just a second. Let's see. We got
Have everybody's name written down with what color.
Yeah, I'm doing that. I think it'd be just another minute, Rick.
Okay.
Hey, Rick, I think we're ready to start.
Okay. The August 25th, 2020 meeting of the Charlotte Zoning Board of Adjustments is now in session. I am Rick Sanderson, chairperson. Also sitting on today's board is Terry Brown, vice chair, Deborah Dryden, Emma Allen, and Patrick Welch. Also present are Shad Spencer, the zoning administrator, Lisa McCarter, the planning project manager, Terry Hagler Gray, senior assistant city attorney, Andrea Leslie Fight, senior assistant city attorney, Max Oliver, clerk to the board, and Atkins Court Reporting, the verbatim reporter. I'd like to start off today by acknowledging that we are conducting this meeting using a remote electronic platform. This is the third remote meeting of the Charlotte Zoning Board of Adjustment, and I would like to ask for your patience today as we proceed. There may be slight delays as we transition between speakers, participants, and presentations. The Zoning Board of Adjustments is a quasi-judicial body that is governed by the North Carolina General Statutes and the Charlotte Zoning Ordinance. Evidentiary hearings on requests for variance and appeals among other requests. Before we begin to hear the cases on today's agenda, I would like to provide some important information on the steps that were taken to ensure that each party's due process rights are protected as we proceed in this remote platform. Before I get started, can everybody hear me okay? Give a thumbs up. All right, okay, thank you. First, today's meeting will be conducted in accordance with the newly enacted state statutes passed by the North Carolina General Assembly and Session Law 2020-3 that allow for remote meetings and quasi-judicial hearings during declarations of emergency. Second, each applicant was notified before being placed on today's agenda that this meeting would be conducted using a remote electronic platform. Every applicant on today's agenda has provided signed consent to the board prior to conducting the evidentiary hearing on their request using this remote platform. Third, notice of this meeting was provided to the applicants and the public in a number of ways. Notice of today's hearing was mailed to property owners within 300 feet of each subject property, and we notified the property owners of the remote electronic platform, and the letters were also stated, and the letters also stated to contact the city immediately if there were any objections to the cases being heard on today's agenda. Notice was also provided by placing signs on each property and by publishing notice on the city's website. The notices for today's meetings contain information about means by which the public can access today's proceedings. Finally, any individual wishing to participate in today's evidentiary hearings were required to sign up prior to today's proceedings. This information was also included on the board's website. Today we'll be hearing one type of case, an application for a variance for the regulations in the zoning ordinance. The order of the recommendation agenda will be as follows. The zoning administrator or zoning staff member will identify the case and recommend approval of the variance with any recommended conditions based on specific reasons. The chairperson will ask if anyone wants to speak in opposition. If there is such a person, then the case will be moved to the regular agenda and will be heard at a later date. The chairperson will ask if the board has questions for staff or if there is any reason the board wishes to move the case to the regular agenda. The chairperson calls for a motion and a second to approve the variance. Excuse me. The chairperson will hold a roll call vote. The order of the agenda will be as follows. All parties who plan to give testimony pro or con must be sworn in. A zoning staff member will explain why a permit was denied or why a variance is requested. The board may question the staff member and then the applicant may question the staff member. The applicant presents their testimony for this case. The board may question the applicant and the staff member may question the applicant. The applicant may present sworn witnesses. They will be subject to questioning. Other parties wishing to speak pro or con will be given reasonable time to present sworn testimony. The staff and then the applicant will be given an opportunity for rebuttal. The chairperson calls for a motion and a second to approve the variance. The chairperson will hold a roll call vote. After hearing each case, the board will review each case and render a decision. This is usually done in closed deliberations after hearing each regular agenda case. However, the board may elect to take up to 30 days to render a decision. You may remain present during the deliberations, or you may call the zoning staff after the session to receive the decision of the board. All exhibits must remain with the board. Exhibits were required to be provided to the clerk no later than noon on Monday, August 24th, in order to be considered at this hearing. If your case is not appealed to Superior Court after 30 days, you may pick them up or they will be destroyed. If you feel there is a conflict of interest of any member of the board or an association that would prejudice your case, please let it be known at the start of your case. The board is acting in a quasi-judicial capacity for purposes of this hearing and can only accept sworn testimony. While the board would not specifically exclude hearsay evidence, it is only given limited weight. The North Carolina State Bar has issued an advisory opinion that it is the unauthorized practice of law for an individual who is not an active member of the bar to appear for another or otherwise assist or represent another at quasi-judicial hearings on zoning and land use matters. All applicants should have been provided with a copy of that advisory opinion at the time you filed your application. If you are a property owner or a non-lawyer here on behalf of a property owner and have not received a copy of that opinion, please use the WebEx platform function to virtually raise your hand and the clerk will provide it to you. If, as a result of this advisory opinion, the applicant would like to request a continuance of his or her case, the board will consider such request at the start of that case. Appeal from this board is to the Mecklenburg County Superior Court. You have 30 days from the date of the board's written decision in which to appeal in accordance with North Carolina General Statute 160A-388E. In order to receive a written copy of the decision, any aggrieved party must file a written request for a copy of the board's decision by filling out the form, which must be filed with the board's clerk or chairperson at the time of the hearing of the case. Please remember to mute your microphone when you do not intend to speak. We will be hearing 5 cases today, 2 recommendation agenda items and 3 regular agenda items. The first case is case number 2020-069. 624 East Kingston Avenue, presented by Lisa McCarter. Clerk to the board will read the names of anyone who opposes a case. All those who plan to give testimony today affirm the following. So for this case, I guess Lisa, I don't know if Shad plans on speaking. You both just want to get sworn in right now? All right. Lisa and Shad, you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in the matter at hand.
I do.
Okay. To help the court reporter, when we speak, we need to state our name. And for speakers other than the board or staff, state your name and address. And I think, Max, does this court reporter need the board members to state their names or when they speak, or just will they be able to watch the screen, or how does that work?
I guess we'll just play that by ear.
Okay. So the first case is case number 2020-069.
All right, our first case is a residential side yard variance case. The applicant is requesting 2 variances to allow improvements within the established side yards, a 4-foot reduction to the required 5-foot side yard to the right side of the property, and a 2-foot reduction to the required 5-foot side yard on the left side of the property. And I'll give you a minute to look over your findings.
Okay, go ahead, Lisa.
Exhibit 1 is a vicinity map of the subject property. Exhibit 2 is a zoning map of the property. The property is zoned R5 single family and it has adjacent R5 and office zoning. And it's located in the Dilworth Historic. Exhibit 3
Lisa,
is
you're breaking up when you talk. It's hard for me. I'm hearing like every other word.
okay. Exhibit 3 is an aerial map of the subject property. Can you hear me any better?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. You can see that the property, to the rear of the property is Dilworth Methodist Church. And also the church uses the parcel adjacent to the property in the corner of Springdale and Kingston as a parking area. Here's a close-up on Exhibit 4, where you can see the parking area a little bit more clear and the subject property. Exhibit 5 is a background of the property. There is an undated plat of the property. The home was built in 1931. Excuse me, 1 minute. So Exhibit 6 is the variance request. This property is zoned R5 and the minimum side yard is 5 feet. The subject property was built in 1931. It predates any zoning ordinance requirements. You can see on the left, this property survey, the house is located actually 3.2 feet from the property line on the left side and a little over 1 foot from the property line on the right side. The applicant would like to do work to the roof over the existing encroachment areas on the right and left side in the established side yards. And they're asking for a variance of 4 feet from the 5-foot side yard on the right side for a 1-foot side yard and a 2-foot variance from the 5-foot side yard on